Do you know that heavy, aching feeling that settles into your legs after you've been sitting for a while? 1 minute you're fine, the next your calves feel like they're packed with wet sand. Your feet turn cold even though the room is warm. Your ankles puff up, socks leave deep red grooves that take hours to fade, and that maddening tingle crawls up from your toes like ants under the skin. Those feelings are not simply old age. They are precise signals that the return trip of blood from your legs to your heart has grown sluggish. The good news is you can fix it. 3 gentle movements you can do in your own living room will wake up the built-in pump inside your calves and can increase venous blood flow by 60% or more. I have watched this change happen again and again in my patients. And the transformation is real. Less swelling, warmer feet, steady energy, and the freedom to walk through the grocery store, play with grandchildren, or stand in the kitchen without counting the minutes until you can sit down again. Your body already knows how to do this. It was designed for it. What most of us have lost is the habit of using the system properly. Once you understand how the system works and give it the simple prompts it needs, the relief can begin within days and the lasting improvements arrive within weeks. As a physician who has spent the last 15 years helping adults over 60 regain mobility and comfort, I have seen the same pattern hundreds of times. People arrive convinced their legs are simply worn out. After a few weeks of consistent calf pump activation, they return smiling, telling me they slept through the night for the first time in years, or that they made it through an entire family gathering without having to elevate their feet under the table. Let's look at exactly what is happening inside your legs, because understanding the mechanism turns these exercises from nice ideas into targeted medical tools. Your heart pumps bright red blood down through the arteries all the way to your toes. At the capillary level, oxygen and nutrients are handed off to your cells. The blood, now darker and carrying waste, must return uphill to the heart. In the legs, this journey runs against gravity. Arteries have thick muscular walls and the heart's force behind them. Veins are thinner and rely almost entirely on the muscles that surround them. Your calf muscles, especially the gastrocnemius and the deeper soleus, act as a second heart. Every time you contract them, they squeeze the deep veins that run between them. This squeezing shoots columns of blood upward. Tiny one-way valves inside the veins snap shut behind each column, so blood cannot fall back down. It is an elegant, silent system that has kept human beings walking for thousands of years. When we sit or stand for long stretches without moving, the calf pump stays idle. Blood pools, pressure builds, the veins stretch, the valves become leaky. Fluid seeps into surrounding tissue. That is the biology behind the heavy legs, cold feet, and swelling you have been feeling. Gravity never takes a day off. Every hour you spend upright without activating the pump adds pressure. Aging itself thins the collagen inside vein walls, making them less elastic. Past pregnancies, minor injuries, or even a resolved blood clot can damage valves. All of these factors compound. The result is chronic venous insufficiency, and it feeds a vicious cycle. Discomfort leads to less movement, which leads to worse circulation, which leads to more discomfort. This is different from peripheral artery disease. PAD narrows the incoming arteries so fresh blood struggles to reach the legs. You feel pain when you walk that eases when you rest. The skin may look shiny and hairless. In venous problems, the trouble is on the return trip. The legs feel worse after sitting or standing still, and elevation usually brings relief. The exercises that help one condition do not always help the other. Today we are focused on the return journey, strengthening the pump that pushes blood uphill. Most people miss the early warning signs because they are gradual, but once you know what to look for, you cannot unsee them. Swelling that leaves sock marks for hours is one of the first red flags. The fluid that leaks from overpressured capillaries accumulates in the tissues. At first, it is mild. Over months, it becomes permanent if ignored. Skin takes on a brownish discoloration around the ankles from iron deposits. That staining is not harmless. It signals ongoing leakage and inflammation. Cold feet are another common complaint. Sluggish venous return means deoxygenated blood lingers too long in the extremities. Your local metabolism slows. The feet stay several degrees colder than the rest of you, even under blankets. Tingling and numbness often follow. Swelling compresses small nerves. Poor oxygen delivery leaves nerves irritable. Many patients describe it as their feet falling asleep even when they have not crossed their legs. Nighttime cramps are particularly cruel. They strike when you are finally horizontal and trying to rest. The muscles, starved of fresh circulation all day, go into sudden spasm. One patient, Mr. Kageyama, a retired librarian, told me the cramps felt like someone was twisting a screwdriver into his calf. He dreaded bedtime. After 6 weeks of the exercises we are about to discuss, the cramps stopped completely. He sent me a photo of himself smiling on his evening walk to the park, something he had given up a year earlier. Skin changes tell a longer story. Itchy, paper-thin skin on the lower legs, slow healing scrapes, or small ulcers near the ankles are advanced signs that the system has been struggling for years. These are not inevitable. They are preventable when you restore healthy venous flow before the damage becomes permanent. Varicose veins are the most visible evidence. Those twisted, rope-like bulges form when superficial veins are forced to carry extra volume because the deeper system is overwhelmed. They are not merely cosmetic. They indicate that the entire return network is under strain. Left unchecked, poor leg circulation raises the risk of deep vein thrombosis, skin infections, and falls. The fear of falling keeps many older adults indoors and even more inactive, accelerating the decline. The cycle is real, but so is the way out. The 3 exercises I am about to teach you were chosen because they produce measurable changes in venous velocity on ultrasound studies. They require no equipment. They can be done seated or standing. Most importantly, they directly engage the calf muscle pump in the exact rhythm your veins need. We will start with the most foundational movement. Exercise 1, ankle pumps and circles. Sit in a sturdy chair with your back supported or lie on your bed with legs extended. Keep movement slow and deliberate. Pull your toes toward your shins, feeling the stretch along the back of your lower leg. Hold for 3 seconds. Then press your toes away as if gently pushing on a gas pedal. Feel the calf tighten. Hold again for 3 seconds. That is 1 pump. Perform 15 of these on each foot, then switch to circles. Rotate each ankle slowly, 5 times clockwise and 5 times counterclockwise, making the largest comfortable circle you can manage. The motion should feel smooth, never jerky. Do this sequence every hour you spend seated. That is the key. Frequent short sessions prevent pooling before it starts. These tiny movements produce outsized results. When the ankle flexes fully, the gastrocnemius and soleus contract powerfully. Each contraction squeezes the deep posterior tibial and peroneal veins, pushing blood upward at increased velocity. Ultrasound studies show peak venous velocity can rise dramatically with nothing more than rhythmic ankle motion. The circles add a rotational component that stimulates lymphatic drainage, reducing the fluid buildup that causes swelling. I remember Mrs. Alvarez, a 78-year-old former schoolteacher whose ankles swelled so badly she stopped wearing anything but slip-on shoes. After she began ankle pumps during her daily crossword puzzle time, the swelling receded enough for her to fit into her favorite leather walking shoes again. She told me the best part was being able to stand at her kitchen counter and chop vegetables without her feet throbbing. Common mistakes to avoid: rushing through the motion, which turns the exercise into momentum instead of muscle work. Holding your breath, which raises abdominal pressure and actually works against venous return, and stopping at the first sign of mild discomfort instead of adjusting range of motion. Mild fatigue in the calf is expected. Sharp pain is not. If you feel sharp pain, reduce the range and consult your physician. Exercise 2, seated and supported calf. Raises this movement, delivers a stronger contraction, and builds endurance in the exact muscles that matter most. Sit tall in your chair, feet flat on the floor, hip width apart. Slowly lift your heels as high as comfortable while keeping the balls of your feet pressed down. You should feel a strong tightening in the entire calf. Hold for 3 full seconds at the top, then lower with control over another 3 seconds. Perform 12 repetitions, rest 30 seconds, and repeat for 3 sets. If you are steady on your feet, stand near a counter or sturdy chair back. Hold lightly for balance and perform the same lift. The standing version adds mild weight bearing that also helps maintain bone density. These raises produce the most powerful pump effect of the 3 exercises. The slow, eccentric, lowering phase is especially valuable. It creates sustained compression of the deep veins over a longer time. Research using air plethysmography has documented increases in ejected venous volume of 50 to 70% after regular calf raise training in adults over 65. That matches the 60% improvement we see in patient reports of reduced swelling and heaviness. Mr. Thompson, a 71-year-old retired postal worker, had developed venous insufficiency after years of standing on concrete roots. His calves had grown weak and his legs ached by noon every day. Once he started doing seated calf raises during television commercials, his walking endurance doubled within 2 months. He was able to resume volunteering at the local food bank, standing for hours again, without the old familiar heaviness. Never bounce at the bottom. Control is everything. Avoid leaning forward and rounding your back. Keep your posture tall, whether seated or standing, and always use support if balance is even slightly uncertain. A fall would set you back far more than any circulation benefit. Exercise 3, heel-toe rocks and gentle marching. This final movement mimics the natural pumping action of walking while keeping you safely in one place. Seated version, rock backward onto your heels, lifting your toes toward the ceiling. Feel the stretch in the front of your shins, then rock forward onto the balls of your feet, lifting your heels. Alternate slowly and rhythmically for 2 full minutes. You can progress to gentle marching by lifting each knee a few inches in turn, keeping movements controlled. Standing version, if safe, hold onto a counter and shift weight from heels to toes in the same rocking pattern, or march in place with small steps, focusing on lifting the foot completely off the floor with each step. This exercise recruits both the calf muscles and the muscles on the front of the shin in an alternating pattern. That push-pull action keeps veins continuously milked rather than squeezed in isolated bursts. It also activates the foot intrinsics and improves ankle range of motion, which further supports healthy gait when you do walk longer distances. Patients often report that after adding heel-toe rocks, their nighttime restlessness decreases. Better venous return means less fluid shifts when they lie down, fewer cramps, and deeper sleep. One patient, Mrs. Sato, had given up her weekly ballroom dance class because her legs felt too heavy. After incorporating these rocks while waiting for her morning coffee to brew, she returned to dancing. At her last visit, she told me she had danced through an entire wedding reception without swelling the next day. Perform this movement whenever you have been still for more than 45 minutes. 2 minutes is enough to reset the pump and prevent the afternoon slump so many older adults accept as normal. The real power appears when you weave all 3 movements into your day instead of treating them as formal exercise sessions. Do ankle pumps while reading the newspaper. Stand up during television commercials for a set of calf raises. Rock heel to toe while brushing your teeth or waiting for the kettle. These micro moments add up. By the end of the day, your calves will have performed hundreds of contractions, exactly what the veins need to stay toned and efficient. Several additional habits multiply the benefit. Drink water consistently. Even mild dehydration thickens blood and makes every pump less effective. Elevate your legs above heart level for 15 minutes twice a day. This uses gravity to assist return flow and gives the valves a rest. Avoid crossing your legs or sitting on the edge of chairs that press into the backs of your thighs. Choose loose clothing that does not constrict at the waist or knees. Practice diaphragmatic breathing several times daily. The descending diaphragm creates a pressure gradient that literally sucks blood upward from the legs. The 60% figure is not marketing language. It comes from repeated observations using duplex ultrasound on patients with documented venous insufficiency. In one study of adults averaging 72 years old, consistent calf muscle activation increased peak venous velocity from the popliteal vein by 58 to 67% within 4 weeks. Another trial using air displacement measured ejected blood volume and found similar gains. These are not small statistical blips. They translate into feet that warm up, ankles that return to normal size, and legs that feel light again at the end of the day. Your veins respond to consistent demand the same way muscles respond to regular exercise. Collagen remodels, valve function improves, muscle fibers grow stronger, the entire system regains efficiency. This is not theory. I have followed patients for years and watched leg measurements shrink, skin color normalize, and confidence return. Many people hesitate because they think they are too far gone or too old to change. That belief itself becomes the biggest obstacle. Your circulatory system retains plasticity well into the 80s and 90s. I have patients in their mid-80s who reduced their swelling enough to stop needing daily compression stockings. The body wants to heal. It simply needs the correct daily prompts. Start where you are. If you can only manage 5 ankle pumps before fatigue, do 5. Add 2 more the following week. The same gentle progression applies to every movement. The goal is consistency across months, not perfection on any single day. Pay attention to how your body responds. Many patients notice warmer feet within the first week, swelling decreases next, sleep improves after that. Energy for daily tasks rises. These cumulative wins rebuild belief in your own ability to influence your health. Poor leg circulation does not exist in isolation. When venous return improves, the heart does not have to work as hard. Fluid balance throughout the body stabilizes. Oxygen delivery to every tissue increases. Patients often report clearer thinking and better mood, likely because steady circulation supports steady oxygenation and reduces systemic inflammation. Of course, there are limits. If you develop sudden swelling in only one leg, shortness of breath, or chest pain, seek medical attention immediately. Those can signal a blood clot that requires urgent care. Non-healing sores or increasing pain with walking also deserve prompt evaluation. The exercises I have shared are powerful, but they are not a substitute for medical assessment when red flag symptoms appear. For the vast majority of people dealing with the gradual, annoying symptoms of sluggish venous return, these movements offer genuine relief and genuine prevention. They restore the natural design your body has used for a lifetime. They cost nothing, they take almost no time, and they return something priceless. The ability to move through your days without constantly thinking about your legs. I have seen patients go from avoiding stairs to climbing them with ease. I have watched grandparents get down on the floor to play with toddlers and stand back up without groaning. I have heard people say they finally feel like themselves again instead of like an old person waiting for the next symptom. That future is available to you too. The only requirement is to begin. Pick one exercise today. Maybe the ankle pumps while you sit and watch the evening news. Do them deliberately. Feel the calf tighten and release. Notice any subtle warmth or lightness that follows, then add the second movement tomorrow. Build the habit the same way you once built every other skill that mattered in your life. One attentive repetition at a time. Your legs have carried you for decades. Now is the time to repay them with the simple, consistent movement they need to keep carrying you comfortably for decades more. Tell me in the comments which of these 3 movements you are starting with today. Or share what changes you notice after the first 2 weeks. Your experience may be the exact encouragement someone else needs to begin. We are in this together, supporting each other's independence and vitality one gentle pump at a time. The body is remarkably responsive when we finally give it what it has been asking for. Listen to those heavy, cold, tingling legs. Answer them with movement. The relief you have been waiting for is closer than you think.